Now, from a standpoint of security, it's really interesting if you go back and take a look at the threat capabilities timeline from a security perspective of what we've been dealing with over the last, say, 20 years. If you go back to the early 80s, that's when the concepts of self-replicating code, the idea of a virus, actually came out of MIT. One of the professors stated that this is something that computer code can't do, is it can't replicate itself like an organism. And one of the MIT students, to prove the professor wrong, wrote the first virus. Of course, that may or not have been a good thing, but the ability of self-replicating code came out just prior to the 1980s, and the concept there went quite a bit further. We started doing things like password guessing, password cracking utilities started coming up. Towards the end of the 1990s, we discovered a way to break encryption technology such as DES, the data encryption standards, which we had to update to triple DES. We started building in backdoors and disabling programs that would audit our security of our network. And as the sophistication of these tools started increasing, we saw an alarming trend as the skill necessary to use those tools started dropping and becoming lower and lower. And the advent of the script kiddie came into the lexicon of computer security, where really somebody who's very wise in the way of hacking, some super elite hacker, writes some script and basically has a big button kill network on it, and they give it out to a 13-year-old kid, and they have no idea what really took place to actually make that tool, but there's a big red button that says kill network, and they click it a few times, and now we have no access to the resources we're trying to get to. So the idea of this script kiddie mentality became kind of interesting as we got into the year 2000 and started seeing things like the ping of death against Windows boxes, sent it a few pings and it died, and somebody wrote a tool on it, and you don't have to manually create all the packets. You just click the button and watch the Windows box go down. So that level of sophistication to create the tools, certainly the tool level increased, the sophistication of the tools increased, while the actual skill went down. Now, what's really interesting as we start looking at the current timeline, that not only the threat capabilities are changing with respect to sophistication versus technical skill needed, but also the type of attacks are really changing. If you go back in the timeline here and look at the type of attacks, most of them are access attacks, or a lot of them were funny, I can make something pop up on your screen and say some political or otherwise derogatory message and put that up on your computer screen. Today, with the invention of botnets, it's more of an economic structure to where I can start taking over and putting virus or another good term to understand would be rootkits. So I use viruses and exploit utilities to discover machines that are available to be attacked, and then I use a rootkit, which isn't really a virus nor is it a exploit. A rootkit is more like a backdoor where I can take ownership of that machine, and it'll send information over to command and control box via channels like IRC, Internet Relay Chat, or other technologies to send it back to a device I control, so I can control thousands and thousands of machines on the internet. Now, by doing that, I could then sell my botnet to various different individuals, people who want to send spam all over the internet, or somebody who has a beef against a particular website. I can have all of those bots at one time attack a particular website. It's referred to as a denial of service attack. In this case, a distributed denial of service attack, because it's distributed amongst thousands and thousands of machines. So this kind of security attack and the sophistication needed to run that, those tools are already built for the script kiddies out there, and they could start, designing and setting up their own botnets and making money with them today. So, certainly not trying to give anybody ideas on ways to make money on the internet, through nefarious means. But what I'm saying is you have to watch out for these. You have to be aware of the fact that botnets do exist.